So the answer is my AD carry as a support player my number one priority? And the answer is no. Your AD carry is not your number one priority. No. Karma AD carry, AP carry, it will be Karma and Seraphine. I will put it on the same bracket. You roam in the game or you will lose the game. Okay? So if you have Karma or Seraphine in bot lane, sure, you can kill with CC and you can kill lane, but you need to be proactive in the map. Seraphine one-shots the wave, Karma one-shots the wave. They cannot make plays on them. So use your number advantage in other side of the map to probably get your team ahead. If you are Hi YouTube and hello AD carry mains and support mains. This is a video for bot lane, so 2 in 1. If you are not a bot lane main, you're also very welcome to go sit down and watch, because you're going to learn what your bot lane is doing in your games, that sometimes they go 0-10, they are flaming each other, you don't understand what's going on. And also it's very nice for you to see what's the role of a support and the role of the AD carry depending on the situations, okay? So I've been working on a lot of different videos that are coming really soon as well. I'm going to post weekly every single time about jungle tracking, more support fundamentals, more reviews. But today I wanted to do this video because I've been holding on to this question for a long time. Because 6 days ago I opened the Reddit front page to see what was going on, and I saw this post and I was surprised because normally you don't see so many support questions or support posts. I wanted to address this situation on this question in particular because if so many people, if it's on the front page, it's because a lot of people are actually interested in knowing the answer. And maybe it's a very broad answer or very generic answer saying it depends. So I want to give a more in-depth analysis and a more in-depth explanation. So the question is, as support, is my AD carry the number one priority? From my understanding so far, a support main job is to protect my AD carry at all times, help with wave setup, warding for teammates, and on objectives. Is there any point in time where I would choose to protect anyone other than my AD carry in an even game? I think my flow right now would be helping other players' lanes a little too much. I participate in first bloods within the first 3 minutes of the game, 70% gains according to analytics. This is my game, my win rate is decent, but I'm feeling that I'm losing because I'm not prioritizing my AD carry as much as I possibly should. So the answer is my AD carry as a support player my number one priority? And the answer is no. Your AD carry is not your number one priority. Not in every game, and it depends. And that's what the comment says, right? It depends. But it depends on so many factors, because your job as a player in League of Legends is to win the game, right? You want to win the game, you want to do as best as possible for your team, and you want to get that LP and improve and grind the ladder. So if you want to win the game, you need to know what to do as a support. And the issue is that so many players are going to bot lane, no brain, just like they're like Walking Dead zombies, going towards bot and following the AD carry. Doesn't matter what you play, Enchanter or roaming champions, like CC champions like Leona, Nautilus, Pyke, you are defaulting, click bot lane, play around bot lane. So what ends up happening, and what I encounter a lot, and that's why I'm doing so many of these videos right now, and I want to do them more, is that support players are the role that less understands the game or what they have to do, because they don't CS, like they don't last hit. They like the matchup understanding is not the best because they are not in a solo lane like top lane and mid lane, right? Your priority as a support is to help your other lanes to be in a good position and prioritize which lane is important, right? So the most important lane normally in the early game is going to be the jungle, right? You need to understand how the jungle works and what your jungle wants to do in the game, right? And then there's some order of, like, if your top lane matchup a carry matchup, is your mid lane matchup relevant? Is your AD carry that can play alone? When can he play alone? Is he ever going to be able to play alone? And that's what we are going to watch on this video, okay? That's what we're going to see on this video. We're going to make a tier list. I'm going to order you the different AD carry champions. And I'm going to tell you, this champion can play alone because of this and that. This champion cannot play alone. You should never leave him alone. This champion for sure can play alone. You should never be on bot lane, okay? Because if you guys don't understand the difference between which AD carry needs help and which AD carry doesn't need help, then you are going to miss a lot of windows of opportunity and there are 2 roles. So today we are only going to talk about bot lane in that sense, because we could talk about top lane matchups that are important to roam to, jungle matchups, or mid lane matchups, but that's going to be too much for one video. So probably I will do it in another video if you guys like it and you guys find it useful. But today let's focus on bot lane. It's going to be much easier for you guys as well. And you guys are going to see a big improvement in your gameplay when you start moving around the map. Okay, so here we have the tier list on the champions, AD carry champions that need help, don't need help, maybe need help, can play alone, cannot play alone, can roam, you should roam, and they should never be like have a presence of help, right? So, and I'm also going to give more in-depth analysis and comments on each of them. So let's start. I don't want to make it too long, because if not, it's going to be a bit, a bit boring, guys. So let's go, and you guys know a lot already, okay? So let's do it. So Aphelios needs help, all right? Scaling champion, hyper carry champion. Why does he need help also? Low wave clear, cannot play dives really well, has not a huge range except with green gun to CS from afar, and it's just very dependent champion. Right? He needs like a strong support or ardent support that can match with him. So no, you cannot really leave him alone. So the only ways that you can roam with Aphelios and with other supports is when you crash bot lane, then you have a time to move to mid lane, and then you come back when the bot lane is bouncing towards you. Okay, so this is with every single champion when you have windows of because of your wave state. Okay, Ashe again needs help, doesn't want to be alone, is a really strong champion to play 2v2s, has no mobility and has no wave clear. Maybe if she goes static, that's what we are going to talk as well. So item dependent. Maybe if she goes static, then you can leave her alone. But even with static, she has no great wave clear also. So needs help. You cannot really leave her alone. All right. So now that comes the interesting part. Ezreal. He can play alone. Why? He has high mobility with the E. He has high range with the Q. He can farm alone. And he's able to play also with the ultimate, can wave clear really easy. He's able to play dives pretty well as well, because he's like with the mobility that he has. And he can survive quite well alone. So most of the times you can leave him alone and you have an extra time for do a roam with your team, which means that if there is a stronger lane that you want to prioritize, like let's say a Jax against Camille matchup in top lane, and you get the kill, but Ezreal is getting a wave in, okay, then that he can probably play it. Or maybe the wave is a bit frozen or it's coming into him, he can queue it and he can farm it, okay? So I would say he can play alone, so you have more time for roams and more time for look for these windows that can get your team ahead, and he will still be okay in the game. All right, item dependent or level dependent? Xayah. Why Xayah? Xayah is a really strong champion playing 2v2s, and really strong skirmish champion, like really good champion with CC champs. Like you should play her with Nautilus, Leona, Pyke. Like any CC champion is good. Like off-meta champions like Pantheon, Shen, Galio, right? Poppy are also good for Xayah. And I put her on item dependent and level dependent. It's because once she gets her Q upgrade, she's really good to play alone, because she's able to wave clear really, really easy. And also she has the level 6. Once she has level 6, she's able to skip her own waves and join fights in the river. All right. And also item dependent. Okay. Because she gets static. Sometimes some cases get Kraken instead of static, but if she gets static, that means that she will one-shot the waves at level 6, 7, 8. She's one-shotting waves. With the Q evolve and the static shift, she's one-shotting every wave. So she can place dive way better. You have more time again, right? But till she doesn't get the item, till she doesn't get the Q upgrade, till she doesn't get the ultimate, maybe you want to pay attention like the other ones, that she needs a bit of help and you need to be a bit more present, all right? Kalista is going to be a champion that I will put needs help. You don't really want to play a roaming champion, or you don't want to roam, sorry, around the map. If you have Kalista, you want to play around her. You want to play around first dragons. Kalista has the ultimate, so she can engage you to the enemies, and she works really well when she's paired with someone in bot lane. Okay. Again, Caitlyn needs help. All right, it's also a champion that needs resources, needs to play with champions that want to bully in lane, wants to stay in lane, and she wants to get platings. Like Caitlyn wants to get platings. So not only the support should be bot lane, also the jungler should be bot lane. Okay, with these champions. That's also the important part. If a jungler is watching, then you guys know. Jinx also, she's needs to be bot lane. She needs help in bot lane, but she has a good thing is that she waves clear really fast with the Q and the rocket. So maybe you can look for those roams, right? Maybe we are going to put also like from left to right the champions that need more help in bot lane. I would say like Aphelios, Kalista for sure, Caitlyn need help in bot lane, and then Jinx a bit less, but also she needs attention. Okay, so Jhin can play alone. Jhin has the Q. He's really good at wave clearing. He can clear from long range with W if he needs to. Like he can also clear with the ultimate, and in general, like the Q gives a lot of in favor of Jhin, and also like right now he has also the static shift to help. So you build Jhin with a static shift. Jhin also is a very very bad champion to hit towers with. So if you guys are bullying and winning bot lane, you prefer to push bot lane and move towards mid lane together with Jhin as well. You can bring him along because of the W strength that he has, and gank enemy mid lane, for example, invade enemy jungler. But Jhin hitting towers is not a great champion, so you don't want to do that. So if you push the lane really fast, then you can move and roam for a bit, maybe a longer time. Again, depends on the situation of your team. Draven with Kalista, he needs help, okay? It's true that if he's really, really fed, maybe he can play more alone, but you usually want to feed your Draven, like he's really fed, he's really strong, and play around him. He will be unstoppable, okay? There's not much argue with that, so he probably needs help in bot lane, and most likely I will not leave my Draven alone. Then Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia is weak in early game, is okay later on. She can play also fine later on. I would not say that she can play alone because she's a mage, but she's a fighting mage. So the more items or more the levels she gets, it's easier for her to wave clear. She doesn't struggle with mana after a couple of bases. So she can play alone, but also you benefit from playing with her. Okay, so it's a bit like Xayah, just that she cannot really join the fights like Xayah can. So I will put her level dependent. You can roam more, depends on the situation of the game, okay? Karma AD carry, AP carry, it will be Karma and Seraphine. I will put it on the same bracket. You roam in the game or you will lose the game, okay? So if you have Karma or Seraphine in bot lane, sure, you can kill with CC and you can kill lane, but you need to be proactive in the map. Seraphine one-shots the wave, Karma one-shots the wave. They cannot make plays on them. So use your number advantage in other side of the map to probably get your team ahead. If you are playing Seraphine and Karma, you should be playing with Bruiser top lane or 2 ADs at least. So get those ahead so they will be unstoppable with the buffs that Seraphine and Karma gives, okay? So Lucian, he can play, he cannot really play alone if you are playing Nami and Milio. If you are playing Nami and Milio, this is the only case I will play Lucian bot lane, so I will put him, he needs help, okay? Karthus, he can play alone, but he benefits from also CC and people being around him, but he can play alone and he can assist with the ultimate from far away. Nilah, you want to play with Nilah because she gives you the passive experience, right? So that's really good. And now interesting champions coming in. Smolder, I would say he needs help, right? Sorry, Nilah needs help, right? I don't know if I said she can play on, but she needs help because of the passive, as I said before. So Smolder, I would say item or level dependent because he can clear waves once he has more like the Q's upgrades or the Q, he has more like these souls. He gets a better Q for wave clear. He also wave clear really well with W and ultimate, okay? But you don't really want to abandon Smolder early on in the game, but later on in the game, he can be really good alone. He also has a good survivability with the E. And you don't really want to fight around Smolder early on as well. So once you see the opportunity that he's finding the game, maybe they are crashing a normal wave, it's not a cannon wave, then you can roam. Hwei is going to roam or FF. He could also be on play alone. Play alone is also fine. I will put it on the same category than Karthus. Why? Because with the QE, so QE, he has a very high wave clear, so they cannot really make plays on him. Even if he has low mobility, he can play alone pretty fine, and you should be able to roam. Sivir, item or level dependent. Once she has a long BF and higher level, she can play alone because she one-shots the waves with the ricochet. So she can play alone. But she needs the item, like some AD, and also a bit of level. Champions like Miss Fortune, she can play alone. Okay, Miss Fortune can play alone. It's in the same than Ezreal, Jhin, and Ezreal and Jhin. Sorry, I will put them on the same group because she's really fast. She can wave clear with the ultimate, maybe level dependent, but the Q is pretty good to also wave clear. I will put it on item dependent. I think she's okay. Just sustain with the first bases. It's a bit like Jhin, okay? Maybe you can also play with MF, but it's the same as Jhin. She doesn't hit towers that good. So maybe you get prior bot lane and move towards mid lane, get some advantage in the jungle. But I like a lot to leave MF alone in bot lane. She gets more level as well, and they cannot really make plays on her that easy, okay? But again, it's common sense. You need to pay attention sometimes on what's happening. Samira cannot play alone, same as Nilah, low range, pairs well with CC supports, right? Like Kalista, and you want to play around like her all in, so it doesn't make sense to leave her alone. I would not play like a champion that wants to roam heavy and not be in bot lane with Samira. Senna, not really an AD carry right now, but if you're probably playing with Senna, you need to be with Senna, right, in lane. Makes sense. Probably you are playing and tank, so she's going to move more than you. It depends if fasting or not. Varus. So Varus is a bully lane, so he's good bullying. He's strong 2v2, but you can leave him alone depending if he has good wave clear. But I will put her on the same group as Jinx, okay? Same group as Jinx means that you don't want to really leave Jinx alone, but can one-shot the wave with the Q, the rockets, and Varus the same, can one-shot the wave. So maybe you can skip 1 or 2 waves if Varus it's fine alone. And maybe he can buy a bit of time also with the ultimate. But normally you want to stay in lane and also you want to bully in lane, okay? Especially I'm going to show you guys a clip with Varus where I stay in lane a lot. So yeah, Syndra can play alone. I would not say roam or FF. I think play alone is fine. Tristana is item or level dependent. Once she gets, well, she's going static, then she goes static. But if she goes Kraken, Nabori, this type of item, if she's higher level, she's going to be fine wave clearing, especially with her passive. She has also W ultimate to peel herself and contest better the waves. Veigar, roam or FF, I will say. You don't want to really play around the Veigar. You could play around the Veigar a bit, but once he gets certain items and levels, he can also play alone. So I would say a bit like Sivir. I would put Veigar a bit with Sivir. I would roam really fast when he's like level 5, 6. I'm already out of bot lane, and I would not play with him. So Ziggs, you could put him on roam or FF, but actually he is like Hwei and Syndra. Play alone. You can play alone. You can also like make kills in bot lane with Ziggs because you see full combos and someone is dead. But if you need to roam to win the game, because that's what you need to do, that's what we are talking about right now, then I would put Ziggs on play alone. Yasuo, he needs help. I would put him on the same group as Nilah, Yasuo, and Samira. Twitch, also, he needs like a lot of help. I was putting on the same scenario, on the same group, than Aphelios. Xayah can play alone, okay? Same group as this. And Vayne needs help also. I don't think Vayne you can play alone at all. So I would say a bit like Ashe. Well, not a lane bully, but I mean, if you are playing with Vayne, you are FFing the lane. No, like that's the joke. So if you are playing with Vayne, you FF the lane. But yeah, I would not leave her alone at all. Zeri, like Smolder or like Xayah, I would put it a bit more like Xayah, can join fights really good with the E. Once you have static, you can use the static to clear the waves really fast. Has good mobility. You can leave her alone. You can also play with her, but once she has static and she's level 6, she clears waves really fast, and you don't really need to play around her. Yeah. Vel'koz, I will put it Rom or FF. I will put it with Ziggs, right? With Ziggs and Syndra, I think it's the same. There are a lot of AP champions that you can play in bot lane, and that also can be on this tier list or these different sections. But the important part is that you guys understand which AD carries want to play alone, can play alone, who doesn't play the champions that you should never leave alone, and the champions that you should always leave alone and get an advantage for sure. All right. So I'm going to highlight here the champions that I believe. Okay. So we see all that you should never, ever, ever, ever play with an enchanter. Okay. You should never play with an enchanter the following champions. Okay. You should never play with an enchanter Karma, Seraphine, Vel'koz, Syndra, Ziggs. You should never play with Enchanter. I would not play with an Enchanter Xayah, for example. Hwei, for example. Misfortune, for example. I would not play with Enchanter. Karthus, you can play only, probably with Senna and Janna are fine, Karthus, typically. But like a bit of a... maybe, some exceptions. Jhin, I will not play with an enchanter, okay? And Ezreal, you can play Ezreal with a Karma and bully enchanters, okay? Strong enchanters. So again, as Karthus, exception. But you already see that is like some champions that you cannot play enchanters, right? Also, Veigar, Xayah, my friend Cassiopeia, probably Smolder also, not good with enchanters, needs a strong champion to play that laning phase, okay? And I would say that that's mostly it, right? Yasuo is also in that case, but you can play the Janna maybe, so why not? But that's the ones that I would say, okay? Senna, obviously, for obvious reasons. So you guys can already see that enchanters, if you want to play enchanter and you want to have more impact in the map, like you have already like a lot of meta champions are gone that are not efficient with you. Why? Because the synergy is not there and you don't get a lot out of it. You will end up missing a lot of windows for your team to help them early on, because you are missing the entire kit of the AD carry that is like stay in lane, be strong in lane, get levels, and you are soaking his XP for no reason when you could be impacting the map, right? And also you are not getting a lot of accomplish being bot lane. So let's say you are Xayah Lulu, and your enemy is playing Sivir Leona. There's one point where Leona is just going to move and Sivir is going to wave clear, and you are not going to do anything in bot. So you need to move, right? But for example, if you are playing Draven, or for example Caitlyn Lux, let's say Caitlyn Lux, or Karma Ashe, or Vayne Lulu, then you staying in lane and with the Vayne, it's okay. Like you're going to scale together. But Xayah is not getting anything out of the Lulu in that sense. Maybe later on, but it doesn't synergize well at all. Okay, so that's what I would say about the champions. And CC supports work with anything. Okay, maybe you don't want that aggressive supports or playmaking supports with champions like. For example, Jinx, forcing her to fight early on, but that can also still be fine, okay? Maybe Twitch like benefits better from Ardent, Vayne as well, from Ardent supports, but mostly like CC supports, tank supports are on top of the pyramid, and they are really, really strong in solo queue, right? The only way that I see that you guys get ahead as an enchanter support playing the game without roaming is because the game goes to very late game or mid game, late game, and the enemy team didn't do anything with that, and your team played well enough, so you survive, and then of course your champion is going to be really strong. in that situation. All right, let's go for some examples in game, okay? So this is an example of me playing a Pantheon support that likes to roam with Xayah. So with Xayah we said that it's fine to move when she gets some items, but also I want you guys to show you the powerful thing that is roaming in early game, and when to roam and when to assist your lanes and what is it going to do for you guys, okay? So here we end up trading 2 for 1. So Xayah will kill, and now Xayah is going to push this wave, which I'm not going to be part of. And if I open directly towards Botlane, I'm not going to get anything. I'm just going to be there and wait for Xayah, wait for the wave to come, and I'm not going to be proactive on the map, right? So first of all, what I do is I'm going to move with Lucian and connect with my jungler, okay? My jungler is a carry jungler, like he's really strong. He's going to be a bruiser jungler, right? And I want to also impact top lane because it's Jhin against Urgot, so important matchups already, okay? So I see that this is happening in mid lane and there's a fight going on and I'm a bit late, so I could be like, for example, on the banana bush already and being helpful more than anything. And here we end up fighting. Lucian is fighting, but I'm here and this enemy support is not here, right? And he's playing Pike. So he should also be opening here the map because he doesn't need to be bot lane at the moment, right? He arrives late, and because he arrives late, we end up getting the kills, all right? But what's the important part here is that we are able to win this fight because I create a window of opportunity with my move in the map. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back bot lane and collect the wave in bot lane that is pushing towards us. So here we are playing Varus Nico against Xayah Zac. And we are going to play really, really aggressive, but I don't want to move in this matchup, okay? This is going to be an example where you guys can see it really, really clearly, is that I'm going to stay bot lane. I'm going to try to zone out the Xayah. I'm going to try to bully the Xayah out of lane. I'm trying to get the platings. My mission here is get plates. I will get plates for Varus, so Varus can scale, he can be good in the game. Now we crash a huge wave, and I already told you this, like in the last video, in the fundamental video about laning phases. Once you crash 3 waves and you're range, you will always get the plating, right? And this plating feels really good. So now Varus is going to base, and he's going to open them up again with tier. And I'm just going to chill around the bot lane. So let me go fast forward, waiting for Varus to come back. And now I want to zone. I want to freeze because we are stronger. We can also build a bigger slow push as well. Once we break the freeze, I use my W to freeze the lane. And now Xayah cannot really play. But what's the issue is that my Kayn is getting invaded by Zac, Jarvan, and enemy mid laner. Can I move right now? Can I do something to help my Kayn? Sure, I could go around, but Xayah will pressure my Varus, probably try to crash the wave with the minions advantage that she has. And then I'm not going to be in lane to keep pressuring this guy, and now I'm going to move towards the bush really soon because Zac is there. Zac ends up being there. I'm too late already, so also identify when you are late or not. And right now, Xayah is struggling to farm, so we're getting some wins there. And of course, if you are roaming and you are getting kills all the time, it's going to be really painful for me. But now we can zone the cannon almost because she's really smart, guys, and gets the cannon with the W. And we are able to play for what we like the most, for platings, right? So right now we stack wave, we build another big wave, and we are going to play for bot, get me this plating, maybe we can even get another one, keep poking the Zac under tower, he almost loses his passive, and right now we are just keep pushing, and we bully them into getting another plating, right, with this wave. So 6 minutes in, we get 3 platings in bot lane. We're in a really good spot. Probably our jungler should play around us. Why? Because when you are playing this type of matchups that is like Caitlyn Lux, Varus Nico, Karma Ezreal, you want your jungler around bot lane so you can take this tower as fast as possible and start getting Varus around the map and getting plates, okay? So yes, you need a bit of your jungle to understand this. So jungle mains, if you're listening, play around your bot lanes when they are hard winning. They have these hard winning matchups. Last example, okay, for this video. It's been a long video with long explanations in the tier list of AD carries. So any questions that you might have, guys, leave me a comment, okay? Like the video if you like it. If you don't like the video, also tell me, give me feedback on this as well. Okay, so here I'm going to explain you one important detail. So we are going to talk about tracking enemy jungler really soon, also like next week, or this week even, because it's Monday, so I will be probably able to deliver it this week. So that we got vision level 1 around enemy jungler, all right? My AD carry is Ziggs, so he's really fine being alone, even early levels, because he's a mage, and this is how Ziggs works, okay? So I know that the matchup in the jungle is important because it's Qiyana and Jarvan, and I also understand that we invaded, so maybe Garen is coming, or maybe Qiyana is coming, and Jarvan is trying to steal the buff at level 1, so I'm saying, okay, should I go bot lane and play with Ziggs, or should I stay around and look for a pick and maybe Katarina gets the kill, maybe Jarvan gets the kill. Even if I get the kill, it's still fine. I get the first blood. And now Qiyana's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push Qiyana out, and I will make sure that I stay here instead of basing with Jarvan, so he secures enemy jungle and he gets ahead in the game. Okay? So now he gets ahead in the game. I'm going to push Qiyana out because we have a really good ward here, and now she's kind of doomed. And she's going to drop the red buff, and she's going to drop the Raptor Camp. Is enemy bot lane able to punish my Ziggs? No. Why? Because they are also playing an Ardent champion, which is Milio, and they are playing a weak champion, that's Kokmo. If they will play Kokmo Nautilus, for example, I will still do it, but there is a risk that my Ziggs gets hooked, he loses flash, or he needs to lose a couple of minions that he cannot reach. But this is not the case, right? They are playing with Milio. So I leave my Ziggs alone, and I give that advantage to my team and to my Jarvan. We know that Qiyana right now, and we will talk about this in the next video that I will post, that is going to be jungle, how to track your jungle. We know that Qiyana for sure is on our jungle, or she is on enemy or on her jungle in bot side. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I want to push and go into my red buff to check if Qiyana is there, getting the red buff. Should I have gone? Maybe I should have stayed in bot lane and pushed one more because it didn't crash. So I'm not too happy about that, maybe. But I'm checking that Qiyana is not here, and I'm recalling because I have enough gold to buy a refillable potion and boots. And Ziggs is really fine playing alone because he even got the wave in on his own, because that's what Ziggs does, okay? And Qiyana is bot lane, she's ganking, and Ziggs still has flash. He will play it, and that's what he will do. He forces Qiyana flash, and it's going to be a 1-for-1, and Ziggs still has TP to join back in lane. And so it's perfect. We got 3 early kills, we got Qiyana behind, Qiyana lost the flash, sure she got a bit of gold trading kills. But now Ziggs also is in a really nice spot because he can TP back, he doesn't lose that much, and now we are going to dive them. So we're going to end up diving them with Jarvan, and because Jarvan comes here, Kokmo is going to lose quite some wave, a lot of wave, because it's 3 waves, so he needs to lose this. So I'm going to also explain you a bit of fundamentals right now here, is that Jarvan doesn't need to commit this hard into Kokmo, okay? So what Jarvan needs to do is just walk with me and zone them out of the wave. Why? Because we can fight them between the 2 towers. Even if Qiyana comes, she does nothing. And Azir is not going to move. Garen is not going to instantly miraculous. It's a miracle. He spawns in bot lane because he cannot do that, because he doesn't even have TP to do that. And what Jarvan ends up doing is he's forcing Kokmo flash, yes, but it doesn't do anything. We should just wait for them to throw abilities to us, let them run out of tower and kill them outside the tower, or just like separate them, right? That they are not together. So he ends up flashing, he ends up tanking the tower for no reason. He ends up apologizing and saying, I'm sorry after. So it's going to be 1-for-2. I end up killing the Kokmo. The damage of Pantheon is actually insane, which kind of saved the play as well, because now Kokmo is going to lose a lot of minions, a lot of CS. He's losing all of this, Kokmo is losing. So we are in a really good position. So what am I going to do? I'm going to roam towards top, and we are going to play top lane. Azir is bot lane, so he's collecting bot. Kokmo opens mid. It's a bit chaotic game, which I like, because we have champions that like chaotic fighting. Okay, so again, we play around a big wave. We know that Kiana has no flash. We wait a bit. And here we just kill Kiana. She dies. I know that this is a bit strange that the minions are attacking like in the bush, so I put the pink ward. We know that there's vision here. And now I don't want Garen to go back to lane because he's going to collect all the farm and all the XP. So I'm here and I'm going to punish the Garen. The issue is that, I mean, Garen has no flash, but the issue is that Jarvan is again a bit late, in my opinion. He doesn't identify that he needs to be here. So we end up dying again to Kog'Maw, but Garen loses quite a lot of wave. It could be way better if Jarvan plays together with me and doesn't let Garen pass, right? I even told him, please Jarvan, focus, we need you in the game more focused than this because you missed a big opportunity. He doesn't understand it, but here I am for you guys, so you guys understand what's happening. So I leave Ziggs on his own. I'm not getting anything because if I go bot lane, there's nothing for me to get, and I'm going to play with the Vladimir and be able to get the void grabs with Jarvan. All right, so here I make also the decision to go to invade this enemy red because it's going to be Ziggs against Garen, and we're not going to kill Garen. Ziggs is not going to die into Garen, and bot lane is top, so I need to match now with Vladimir and play towards top lane. All right, so a big part of being a support player as well is to be able to adapt and understand what's happening. So we are 6-6 in the game. It's not like a huge advantage. You may be saying, oh, you are not winning the game that much, but the game is going pretty fine. We are going to get tower in bot lane. We're going to get another 2 kills in top because I'm playing with Jarvan. Jarvan is playing with me. And we're able to punish enemy bot. And I'm going to get all this level back. And I don't really need level 6 this fast. I do need level 6 because obviously I want my ultimate. But if I'm able to give these advantages to my jungler, to my top laner, to my mid laner, then I'm going to be very, very happy. Here I open bot lane just to be able to play a bit with Ziggs. We see that they are doing Dragon, which will end up getting. And now I help Ziggs to push, which is also very, very nice. And also you need to be conscious about this as a support player, is that you need experience. So try to get these waves in, like help your AD carry push and crash so he can base. Like here we see that Ziggs has no mana, no HP. I mean, not a lot of mana and almost half HP. And he would like to base. So what I'm doing is I'm staying bot, pushing a bit with him, giving him a base, and now I'm getting some experience, right? I'm hitting that experience in, and I will be able to be so close to level 6. And we end up making another play in top side. I need to be top because Millie and Kog'Maw are top, so I don't want to leave Vladimir 1v2. And we end up going for a play in top lane. The Millie and the heals and the shields are insane actually. And he doesn't die. I don't die either. And now, because they are low, and that's what I want to do and want to accomplish, is get them low. So now I'm able to set them up for a Jarvan gank. So Jarvan will end up ganking. Let's see the gank. It's beautiful. They play it really well. So Vladimir goes in, flash of Jarvan, combos Jarvan. They end up dying. Now 11-6. Remember it was 6-6. Now I'm level 6 as well. So 666, guys, you know what that means. And the game is in a really, really good state. I already have plenty of gold. I have my boots, my wards. I have my ultimate. Ziggs is going to get, I think, the bot lane tower in a bit. And we are golden, okay? And all of this is because I'm able to move around the map. I would be able to do this with Leona, Nautilus, with Pyke, with Shen, for example, if you play support with Poppy, Maokai support as well, you can do it. Because I have a mage bot lane and I have a AD carry, AP carry in this case, that doesn't need help, understands that he can burn waves, and I'm able to move around the map. So again, if I was playing a Lulu Ziggs, it's horrible, and it doesn't accomplish anything, and I would not be able to do anything of this, and maybe you lose the game instantly there because enemy team is just going to scale for free and you're not pressuring them at all. All right? So it's very important that you understand this concept. Is my AD carry my #1 priority? It depends. A lot of factors. Today we saw this.